This week has been so agonizing for me. The reason why is that I'm not playing Cyberpunk 2077. I wanted to play it this week. I wanted to play it last week. I wanted to play it the week after that. Before that, I wanted to play it in September. I wanted to play it in October. I wanted to play it in November. I wanted to play it in July, June. I wanted to play it every single month of this year, especially because it's been delayed, I think, 3 times. It's very, very disappointing, but I've always wanted to play this video game. Essentially, since I saw the first gameplay trailer, demo for it, about 2 years ago in 2018. It was the 48-minute gameplay demo that CD Projekt Red had released, and they were worried about releasing it. They were like, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we should, I don't know, maybe people won't like it. And then they released it, and everybody said, holy shit, that looks awesome. And then it started the hype machine going, and I'm not really a person that believes in hype. I'm not the type of person that gets involved with video games to such an extent that I create false expectations for a video game, which is what hype is, by the way. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna go into this game with reasonable expectation. And I went in and I looked at every single second of the gameplay demo that they released. I looked at all 48 minutes and I was like, oh my god, does this look fantastic? And I thought to myself as I was watching that gameplay demo, I was like, there's way too much. There's way too much stuff that shows me, that they're showing me, that already isn't in deep development, that already isn't going to be flushed out. It looks like this is something that can exist. It looks like it's happening. It looks like it's going to be here. That's what I got from 2018. That's the conclusion that I was drawn to, that this is a very real video game that we will inevitably and eventually get. It only took 2 years for that promise to be made. And then in 2019, they had the deep dive gameplay, and in 2020, they've had a lot of released gameplay, especially in the last couple of weeks, right? And last week, you had the PS4 and the PS5 gameplay that they wanted to show off. Then you had, the week before that, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox gameplay, and then you've had the Night City Wires, and then most importantly, this week you have the Photoshop modes, Photoshop trailer that they released as well, and it all looks great. It all looks done. It all looks ready to be played. And then you get to the leaks, and it's just another confirmation that this game is real, that it's not fake. You know, as a gamer, you experience so much heartbreak, you experience so much pain, so much misery. You say to yourself, you get yourself excited for this video game, all to have it be let down because of unreasonable expectations, or in a lot of cases, to be honest with you, reasonable expectations with video games because they're just not out to be great. They're not out to do something awesome. They're just out to, you know, kind of just do what's trendy, do what's necessarily that's popular, and they don't necessarily want to do something that's a little bit unpopular, that's a little bit of a risk, that they can maybe, that may or may not pay off in the end. That's gonna be so much of a risk for you, and maybe the payoff isn't as high as you would want it to be, but it's still there. But I mean, like, CD Projekt Red is doing something that I've only seen one other time in my life. What they're doing is they're resetting the standard for games once again. And as a matter of fact, I shouldn't give so much credit to CD Projekt Red because there's so many games that attempt to do that and succeed. But one of the main games that I saw that reset the standard was another game by CD Projekt Red, and you already know what it is. It's The Witcher 3 back in 2015, and I've waited for the last 5 years. I think God of War is a great game, but I tried to play it a couple of days ago, and I was just like, I'm not really enjoying it as much as I did back in 2008. And it's not because it's gotten worse, it's not because it's gotten better, it's just it doesn't reset the standard. It's a fantastic game. It's one of the best games of all time. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but I just couldn't really enjoy it the same way that I did again. And I also did the same thing with Red Dead Redemption 2, and I was like, why am I not enjoying this game? I loved it in 2018 as well. I loved it. I thought it was one of the best games of all time, just like God of War, and I was like, why am I not enjoying these games as much as I would 2 years ago, and the simplest answer that I can give to myself and to you is just this, is that Cyberpunk, the game that I feel is going to reset the gaming industry's standard for excellence, is on the horizon. I'm excited for it. This isn't really something that I want to be informed. This is just something that I wanted to make. This week has been so agonizing for me. It has been so agonizing. I've seen the leaks. I've seen all of the leaks, right? I've seen the 20-minute gameplay that everybody who knows the leak, like everybody who knows the gameplay that I'm referencing, if you've followed the leaks, you know the leaks. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but then I saw pictures of the map, and then I saw something so awesome, something so cool, and I want to talk about it, but I can't. I'll talk about it next week. It's a spoiler, but it's pretty fucking cool that I can't talk about because it's out next week. And then I talked to my GameStop guy. I called up my contact at GameStop. Do you want to know what my contact at GameStop told me? He said to me, 24, I got your game copy ready. And I said, be ready on Wednesday night. I'm coming to get Cyberpunk 2077. And he said, no, we don't have a midnight release of Cyberpunk 2077. And I said, do you know that Cyberpunk 2077 is being released literally everywhere worldwide? Do you realize that it's being released, I think, at Pacific Standard Time at like 3 o'clock? That means people at Pacific Standard Time are going to be able to get the video game almost 24 hours before I get the game, and I'm buying the physical copy. Why are you cucking me right now? I want the fucking video game. You did a midnight release of the PS5. Why can't you do a midnight release of Cyberpunk 2077? I'm just asking. I cannot wait for this game to come out December 10th. And I will be tuning in live on Cyber Night, the night that it's supposed to be released, because I don't get to play the game because I bought my game physical instead of digital. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I bought 2 copies of the game. I bought two. One to play, one to keep as a collector's edition. I don't care how much money it's gonna be worth in like 20 to 30 years. I don't care. I'm just gonna keep it because it's gonna probably be one of my favorite games of all time. I don't get to play it at like 3 o'clock, or technically like whenever it's gonna be released, my like local time for me. It's just, I'm very excited for it. The leaks are holding me over. They're spicy leaks. They're good leaks. They're not really that spoilerly, and they're very easy to find on Reddit. I'll only say that. That's it. This has been the video. I'll see you next week. Expect very, very little uploads next week, early on in the week, and the reason why is that it's like I'm a crack fiend waiting to get my next fix, and I don't have it, and I want it, and it's gonna be delivered on Thursday, not Wednesday, Thursday for me. Wednesday if you bought it digitally, Thursday for me because I bought it physically. I'm very upset with myself. I'll see you next week.